Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, what a show, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats. Very good to see you, of course, on WWNO. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey, Peg.
Gwen Thompkins is back, yay! Author and radio host of Music Inside Out, which you can still hear on WWNO, especially online. Great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me, Peggy.
And he's also back, visual and performance artist, Jose Torres-Tama. Hey, Jose.
Hey, Peggy.
And he will be performing for us a little bit later. He's got a brand new poetry event on Saturday, so big doings. And Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Hello,
Peg.
Mr. Allen. Wait, the tie is classic.
It's Passover. What else am I going to wear my
Easter balls. Wonderful. Poppy, the Easter Bunny's coming.
The Easter Bunny's coming Sunday. I'm just so sorry he's not here today, but that's all right because Elmer's Chocolate, we're celebrating without the bunny. You see, we've got the heavenly hash, we've got the gold brick, we got everything. But the great thing everybody needs to know, we have had 100 years of deliciousness from the Elmer Candy Company when it comes to heavenly hash. It's their 100th birthday. So bravo to the Nelson family and keep up the good work. And if you want to learn more about how this magic happens in Ponchatoula, tune into Louisiana Eats this weekend and you can take a tour. But if you're thinking about Easter brunch and where to go, just a few weeks ago, our friend Chef Jimmy Setchum from Broussard's was here, and they have rolled out that menu, and it'll be available Easter Sunday, too, for Broussard's Goes Bananas. And let me tell you what, it's an incredible three-course dinner. There's bananas or plantains and everything, a spring banana salad with arugula frisee, blueberries, banana chips, and a banana feta vinaigrette. Whoever heard of such? Or roasted banana blini with Cajun caviar. I'd like some of that. Or Creole jerk chicken with roasted banana grits. I never heard of such a thing. But there's choices on the menu, and you can order a la carte too. For dessert, how about a bruleed banana eclair or just a little lovely cheesecake? So anyway, 3 courses, $55 for dinner, $48 for brunch. And I have another great idea for someplace to take the little ones that would be so much fun on Easter Sunday, and that's Birdy's Behind the Bower. But before we talk about Easter Sunday at Birdy's, now, of course, this is Mark Ladder's restaurant that is in the Lower Garden District. Only in New Orleans will we have Birdy's Early Bird Happy Hour. Weekday mornings
Say that
from
10 times.
8 until 10 a.m. You can have a $6 brunch punch, a Prosecco margarita. There's $10 Italian Prosecco splits, $6 deviled eggs, $12 for a classic breakfast, including coffee. But what about Birdies on Easter Sunday? And they'll be serving that day from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. I would suggest get a brunch board to share to get the party started, which is going to include, oh, there's those deviled eggs, yum, but the brunch board includes donuts, granola, slab bacon, hot cocoa, bubble waffle, fresh fruit, jam, cookies, pancakes, house-made syrup.
Gosh, look at that.
That's the brunch board. Triple cream cheese and soft boiled eggs. And that is just a way to get the party started. So go to Birdy's, either for an early morning cocktail on your way to work if you're so inclined, or Easter Sunday and live it up.
Thank you so much, Poppy. And we turn to Gwen. And Gwen has not one but two segments because you've got 4 days of French Quarter Festival.
4 days.
Let's start with Thursday and Friday.
Absolutely.
Of the week after next. Okay.
Well, what I love about French Quarter Festival, Peggy, is that it begins like no other festival in New Orleans. It begins with a big parade, a brass band parade that reminds people of how distinctive New Orleans music is and how great it is to live in this city, actually. And so Thursday is going to begin with a brass band parade.
Yes, I should say it's next week, not the week after next. It's coming up.
That's right. It's Thursday, April 13th.
Yes.
And that's going to begin with the brass band parade to end all brass band parades. It's going to start out at 10 a.m. at the corner of Iberville and Bourbon Streets, where the Black Magic Drumline, the New Wave Brass Band, the Mahogany Brass Band, the New Birth Brass Band, and the TBC Brass Band are going to be lining up, and then they're going to be parading to Jackson Square. So that's Iberville and Bourbon Street from 10 to 11 a.m. Walk with them. Then, the first day is always about getting yourself oriented. So you're going to see all kinds of acts, actually. There are a lot of people out there on Thursday. Ani DeFranco, Susan Cowsill, the Lily Lewis Project. But please, I'm not going to ask you because this is where I'm going to be, and I'd like to be in the front. So if you come, I'll stand next to you, but please don't stand in front of me. It's going to be, of course, Irma Thomas, who's going to be closing out Thursday. And she'll be at the Woldenberg Riverfront Park Abita Beer stage from 6:40 p.m. until 8 p.m. Now on Friday, April 14th, there's going to be sort of, the day really seems like a day of family performers, because you're going to have John Boutté, who's going to start off that Friday, at Jackson Square at the GE stage, and he's going to likely be performing with some of his nieces who live in the area, Arsène DeLay and Tanya Ellsworth, right, who are fantastic singers. That's going to be from 11 to 12:25, and over at the Woldenberg Riverfront Park Tropical Isle Hand Grenade Stage, say that 3 times, John's niece Trisha Boutté is going to be performing with the Mahogany Brass Band All-Stars. And what's interesting about this is that Trisha Boutté, for many years now, has been living in Scandinavia. I believe she lives in Norway. And so this is her first trip back in a long time. And to quote the Beach Boys, wouldn't it be nice, if John Boutté and Trisha Boutté have a chance to perform together either at his show or at hers. Now, later in the day, there's going to be a tribute to Topsy Chapman, who was the fantastic singer, gospel singer, jazz singer, actress of stage and screen. She appeared, as you remember, in the musicals One More Time and in Furthermore. And then back in 2013, she was a featured performer in the 2013 Academy Award-winning film 12 Years a Slave. And she, unfortunately, passed away. She died in late 2022, I want to say. And so her daughters, Yolanda and Kiki, as well as her grandson, Celeb, they're going to be performing as Solid Harmony. That was her group, family group, at Jackson Square, the GE stage, from 3:50 to 5 o'clock. And then we're going to see, at the end, near the end of the day, we're going to have Samantha Fish, who's going to be crushing the blues guitar, of course, at Woldenberg Riverfront Park, Abita's Beer stage, from 4:50 to 6 o'clock. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to stay right there because the Soul Rebels are going to follow with Big Freedia. So that's a very nice pairing, actually. Samantha Fish going into the Soul Rebels with Big Freedia, and that's going to be at 6:30, and it's going to last until 8 o'clock.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, but we'll be back to you shortly.
Absolutely.
But Jose, you are creating something new this Saturday.
Yes, so it is April Poetry Month, And I have been thinking of this for some time. This is going to be Poetry Without Borders, Poesía Sin Fronteras, Words and Music Festival, celebrating Black and brown poets of New Orleans. I often go to so many poetry readings, and sometimes I'm saddened by the fact that the lingering legacy of segregation still happens, and we don't have enough diversity. So I know people, especially like Dr. Mona Lisa Soloy is going to be our feature, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. And before you go any further, though, you were kind enough to come in a little bit earlier and do a poem of your own. And it's a salute to immigrants in New Orleans. And let's take a look.
I went down to St. James Infirmary, saw my caramel brown baby there. She was an undocumented immigrant worker. She had cleaned out the Superdome Convention Center, houses, residencies, churches, schools, and official buildings. But nobody was there to cry for her. Sin papeles se murió trabajando por una miseria de dólares. She was ubiquitous and invisible simultaneously, reconstructing the city that Kerr and Bush forgot. But like much of her brown Latino family, her pain and suffering doesn't mean a lot to the likes of you and gringos generally. Era una mujer mestiza invisible, and she died abandoned on the streets in a place where liberty and money overflow. I went down to St. James Infirmary to see my caramel brown baby there. I went down to the river and cried some more. With tears, I plotted this performance poem for her revenge. I went down to St. James Infirmary because I create from pain. Ooh, another version for the lexicon. And if you love the food, don't demonize the cooks, because in my universe, there's no guacamole for immigrant haters. Aroo! Huh.
Always lots to think about, Jose.
Well,
wow.
You know, who repaired your roofs post-Ida, right? On my block alone, I took photographs that were part of the Photonola exhibit last year, Honduran crews, Mexican crews, El Salvadorian crews. And we have to give kudos to the people that have been repairing the city. And post-Katrina, you know, I escaped on a stolen school bus 3 days after the levees breach. I was on the same bus that Mr. Alan Toussaint was on. So this Poetry Without Borders is to bring about some change, hopefully, to celebrate Black and brown poets.
And as you tell us more about it, we're going to just very quickly show the rundown, because it's such a full day, but it's on your Facebook page of Poetry Without Borders, too.
Right.
But go ahead and give us the
And you can go to
highlights.
Torres-Tama.com, and you could see the full schedules there as well.
Good.
But Dr. Mona Lisa Soloy, our Louisiana State
lady.
Poet Laureate.
Sheesh. She's great.
Melinda Palacio, who goes between Chicanolandia and Santa Barbara and New Orleans. We have Edith Romero, Honduran poet. She's getting a master's at Tulane. So we have Gian Francisco Smith, who performed at, he was part of the HBO series, right? Amazing post-Katrina. The HBO Treme series. Amazing people, including music with Margie Perez. So we're going to have sets of poets and the musicians.
Sonny Patterson? Gee.
Oh, Sonny's going to come in.
I mean, Sonny.
Sonny Patterson. She's going to be coming in via Zoom. And we have Kalamu Yasalam, the elder statement, coming in via Zoom as well. And we have Icon Shakandria, who's wrote a really beautiful piece called The Here Women, her film, and then she's going to be live. So we have an amazing group, and we're also going to have the Community Book Center there with Rhea Williams setting up, and we have food, Tacos by Heidi. And we have Gauchos del Tango, which is really amazing. They play Tango Negros. Yuleni Velasquez is Venezuelan, her husband. from Staten Island, Michael Ward Bergman, went and studied the tango negro, the black tangos in little towns of Argentina. So they're amazing. And they're going to be doing a set as well. They're going to be somewhere in between, and then a little bit later.
So poetry, music, like
right.
you're alternating it.
And
yeah.
a scribe called Quest, one of the brilliant poets who's also an activist with Take Dola. So it's going to be a full day. And if I can get inspired and inspire Chuck Perkins, he will be there. Chuck is an amazing poet.
Oh yes, no, he's
Yeah.
read and given poems on "I'm Steppin' Out."
And he's
too,
got them
but,
all in the top of his dome. He's got them all memorized. So
yeah, Cafe Istanbul is a very special place.
it is for me. So
Absolutely.
Poetry Without Borders, Poesía Sin Fronteras, the first annual Words and Music Festival. And I tell you, as we continue, this is going to blow up. So for those of you, come and see the first incarnation.
All right, very good. And it's right across from the St. Roch Market, too.
That's
the
right.
Healing Center. Thank you so much.
Thank
Glad you
you.
could be with us. Moving over to Mr. Allen.
All right, before we get into the theater previews and happenings, I really wanted to acknowledge the announcement that came in last week about Dave Hurlburt, the executive director and co-founder of the Marigny Opera House. Nothing bad. Dave has been the driving force behind that venue since it began, and he announced that he's going to be retiring soon. This is a picture of him. Taking over will be his general manager for the past 6 years, Evan Hammond, and taking over as the interim executive director for that position, and then the interim artistic director will be Jarina Carvalho. We hope that Dave enjoys his retirement. That's the picture I took when he had won one of the Big Easy Awards. There's a great venue for ballet, for several theater producers. They've utilized the space. Tennessee Williams Theater Company, for instance. Opera Creole's used it, as well as the New Orleans Opera Association. So thank you, Dave, for making that space available, and we want to really, give a big shout out to him for that. The Tony Award winner, by the way, Peggy, for 2021 was Moulin Rouge. That's the answer for that trivia question if anybody asks it to you. It won a total of 10 Tony Awards, including one for Danny Burstein, who had been nominated several times, like the Susan Lucci of the Tony Awards. Anyway, he finally won it as Harold Zidler, the owner of the nightclub in Paris. Of course, it's based on the Baz Luhrmann movie with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman, which was an updated remake of an earlier 1952 John Huston film that starred Jose Ferrer and Zsa Zsa Gabor. This show has one of the best set designs you'll ever see, and the costumes are incredible. The contemporary songs by Lady Gaga, Pink, and even Alan Toussaint's own Lady Marmalade are sure to get you moving in your seats. And so if you can, don't miss this one. Lauren Turner Hines, she is the driving force behind No Dream Deferred, the theater company, and its rapid rise on the theater scene as the biggest promoter of new works by and featuring black artists. This is the first year for the We Will Dream Festival. It's set to take place every 2 years from its venue at the newly renamed Andre Calou Center for Performing Arts and Cultural Justice. The very first of the theater offerings with the festival is Drapetomania, a Negro carol by M.D. Schaefer. It runs through the end of the month on various dates and times. Check out their website for more information. And then, of course, local actor, photographer, and again, you may remember singer Brian Eglin previews his work where The Sugar Sweet. He's actually now a playwright as well. He'll be reviewing, I guess, some things going on that we're going to see when I do my review next week with Drapetomania. I'm going to see what it's all about. I don't know what it's consisting of, but I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. And also coming up later this month is The Defiance of Dandelions by Fulana Imade Omoratunwa. And that is, again, a lady who comes from Baton Rouge. She's a playwright. You can check all of the new works and all the other talkbacks and other informative sessions they have on their website, which is NoDreamDeferredNola.com. Check that out. And again, every 2 years now, we're going to have New Works Festival. Again, hats off to all of them. By the way, in late 2020, I broadcast the Natasha Raymer-directed Insulted Belarusia, a play by exiled playwright Andrei Korechik. Well, Korechik was in New Orleans this past week to give a talk against authoritarianism at the Rogers Chapel and also to speak at the law school. I was there. Korechik himself is an attorney, of course. His latest play was read by local actors with Moscow Nights, and here's a photo of them along with the director, Natasha Raymer, and Korechik in the middle there. After the filming of the roles, I grabbed a shot with Natasha and Andre myself. This past Sunday, I have to tell you, was the Boil for the Bold, and it's a fundraiser for the NOLA Project. It was held at a private Garden District home. Acting as Master of Ceremonies was A.J. Allegra. He's the artistic director, of course, for the NOLA Project. project. The Crawfish Boil was a great success. Along with the company, they put on a short reading for what will be their first week in September. Guess what it's going to be? Peter McElligot's Dracula. Also in hand, fresh from her work in White, was Tanaj Jackson and her husband, Alex Martinez Wallace. And then flying in from California was original ensemble member Kristen Wittershine. Lending his singing talents was the company's marketing director, Keith Clavery. And let's not forget his talented wife, Leslie, the board member, Rebecca Duckert, and supporter of the company, Jamie Montelepre, who were also on hand. I just, love being there and great support for a really, truly wonderful company of people. And here's a photo that I had from the recent Portland Stage Company's production of How I Learned What I Learned by August Wilson. It's a reminder about actor Lance Nichols, who will be a guest on my show, on Monday night's show of NOLA Theater Talk. That's this Monday night at 8 p.m. You can see it on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, and my own YouTube channel. And we got it all in.
Thank you so much, Anna. I know it was a lot. Very good job. And moving back to Miss Gwen for Saturday and Sunday at
And
French
there's
Quarter
more.
Fest. And
Indeed,
there's more.
yes. On Saturday, it's going to be sort of another day for extraordinary women performers. Aurora Nealand will be there. She can do just about anything. I just love Aurora Nealand. She's a multi-instrumentalist, she's a composer, she's a singer, she's a band leader, and she's the maker of experimental theatrical experiences that are really unforgettable. And it will be Aurora Nealand and the Royal Roses playing their original songs in the traditional jazz vein at 600 Bourbon, the Zapp's potato chip stage from 11:15 to 12:30. Yes. And then, of course, Helen Gillet, who is a Belgian-American cello player. She can play cello like nobody's business, and nobody plays the way she does. With loop pedals, she can make any place, any space feel like a cathedral, and sort of a hip cathedral, actually, not, but so Helen Gillet is going to be performing with her band Wazozo, and they perform a French chanson, as you remember from the, sort of mid-20th century songs that are just fantastic. Edith Piaf was a great singer of French chanson herself. And this is going to be at 500 Royal Street at the Omni Royal Orleans stage from 2:45 to 4 o'clock. And how often do you get to hear beautiful French music in the French Quarter on a lovely afternoon? I mean, it's pretty magical. And then, as you know, Downtown Super Sunday happened not that long ago, and it's just not over yet because the 79ers gang are going to be performing at French Quarter Fest, and they're just not finished. They've got an updated style of masking Indian music. It's sometimes mixed with techno. They are playing at the Woldenberg Riverfront Park's Tropical Isle Hand Grenade stage from 4:55 to 5:55, and then, of course, this year there's going to be an After Dark series, the French Quarter Festival's After Dark series. So I'm going to try to make this show. It's going to be Boyfriend, who's a fantastic female performer. She's really inventive, very theatrical. She's a great hip-hop spitter. She likes to perform in hair curlers. She's really fun. And she's going to be at the Parish at the House of Blues Saturday from 9 o'clock until midnight. And then on Sunday, which will be the last day, you're going to get a lot of Grammy Award winners, right? Or at least Grammy Award adjacent people, including the Lost Bayou Ramblers, who are going to be at the Jack Slot on the Chevron stage from 5 o'clock until 6:10. And then in the evening, right afterwards, will be, of course, Tank and the Bangas, the Grammy-nominated Tank and the Bangas, and they're going to put together their mixture of spoken word and new soul and performance art, and that's going to be at the Woldenberg Riverfront Park Abita Beer stage, and that's going to be from 6:30 until 8 o'clock.
So for all the details, and very well done yourself, I'm telling you, FrenchQuarterFest.org for it, and lots and lots of food there too, including Vaucresson, I understand, and many, many more, right?
Of course, dance Vaucresson.
Absolutely. And now time for Picks of the Week. Poppy.
Well, if you're going to be downtown Sunday, whether it's for the former Chris Owens parade that's going to be featuring Meg Ferris and Eric Paulson this year, or if you're hanging around for the gay Easter parade, go to the Red Fish Grill Easter Buffet, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 2 and under dine for free. It's a bargain. It's fabulous. Go.
All right, thank you, Gwen.
I'm gonna be on what day is that? I think that's going to be on
Astral Project,
on Friday. I'm
yeah.
gonna see Astral Project. It's a lovely opportunity. Saturday,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Saturday, 5:30 to 7 o'clock. It's going to be at the Jazz Museum. You know, the old U.S. Mint, and this is going to be on the WWL-TV Esplanade in the Shade stage.
Okay,
Looking
thank you.
forward to
How's
it.
that?
In the spirit of black, really amazing 75 photographers curated by Shannon Griffin and Eric Waters with the help of Kalamu Yasalam at the Ashe Cultural Arts Center and the Ashe Powerhouse. It's a phenomenal exhibit. I was there last week. It was packed. Go see it, Ashe Cultural House, Ashe Cultural Arts Center, and the Ashe Powerhouse till May 27th.
All right, and once again, check out your great website too, Torres-Tama.com. And Alan.
General admission tickets are selling briskly for next weekend's Broadway New Orleans Style starring Ricky Graham. In addition to Ricky, Jefferson Turner will be providing the musical accompaniment with Jesse Terrebonne Thompson, Ashley Smetherman-Lemler singing roles like Phantom of the Okra, West Bank Story, and My Fair New Orleans Lady. And I will see you at the theater.
All right, thank you. And now my picks. If you are visiting Catholic churches on Good Friday, consider including the newly refurbished St. Anne Shrine. That's at 2101 Ursuline Avenue, and that's at North Johnson, right near North Galvez. Beautifully redone. Wednesdays when the Enrique Alferez, that is, in April, they're music-filled at the Enrique Alferez Sculpture Garden in City Park, right by the Botanical Garden. Next week's free concert features guitarist Giovan Santos and Manuel Artiega. Go to NewOrleansCityPark.org for details and check out NOLA.com for all those information, those details about all those Easter parades too. Thank you all very much, and thank you so much for watching. Happy Easter. Good night.
Hey.
Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.